Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks, and I welcome you to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land, bringing you your top stories right here from Israel every Monday to Thursday. And for many of us, it is summer holiday. So if you are on your summer holiday or vacation, I hope you are having an awesome time. But if you want to take a little break from enjoying yourself and check out what's happening in the news, I've got you covered right here. And we begin with a fantastic story announced just moments ago from the United Kingdom's Ministry or Department of International Trade. They have announced signing a major new trade agreement with the State of Israel, which they say will increase on their already £5 billion deal with the Jewish state. That is really, really welcome news indeed. And it comes at a time when bilateral relations between Israel and the United Kingdom are at an all-time high. We have seen an increase in cooperation in so many different areas, including security, counter-terror, trade, and so many others. And we can't forget that seminal moment just a couple of months ago when our interim Prime Minister Yair Lapid, who was our foreign minister at the time, he still is, by the way, until the elections and results that come with it on the 1st of November. But he co-wrote an op-ed, an opinion editorial for the Telegraph newspaper with his British counterpart Liz Truss, speaking about the incredible ties between our two countries, but also vowing not to allow Iran to go nuclear. Really, really great times in relations between our two countries. The UN Watch, the United Nations watchdog, have announced that they have released a report to the UN committee against torture. The report gives a detailed account of how Palestinian Authority members as well as Hamas have tortured members of the LGBTQI community, women, human rights activists, political opponents, collaborators. These are anybody who sells land to Jews, how they have tortured them, sometimes even to death. Now, there are hearings underway at the UN headquarters in Geneva, and the Palestinians are expected to send a delegation to hear what this report has to say. The hearings took place yesterday and during today, and it is expected that the Palestinian delegation will tell the committee that they have reached all or honored all of their commitments that they need to within the framework. Meanwhile, the International Legal Forum have tweeted out that they have filed a suit at the International Criminal Court against the Palestinians for practicing routine torture. And while we're on the subject of the Palestinians, Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas met today with French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris. The French president said to Abbas that it is time to re-enter direct negotiations with Israel, and that even though this is difficult, he has no other choice. Now, these are not unusual words. These are the same words that the president spoke to Prime Minister Lapid when he visited Paris just a couple of weeks ago, just after he came in as our interim prime minister on his visit to the French capital. Rather hot here in Israel. I am melting under the lights. But Abbas also said that he demands that Israel be held accountable for the fatal shooting of Al Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh, and demands that Israel keeps investigating and finds out who did it. And over 80% of olim that arrived after the 24th of February are happy with their first steps in the state of Israel. Now, this is according to a survey that was carried out by the Ministry of Aliyah and Absorption. This is the ministry that looks after those who are making Aliyah or immigrating to Israel and how well they are acclimating to life here in the country. Now, at least 70% of olim that arrived after the 24th of February are olim from Ukraine, Russia and Belarus following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The olim, when surveyed, said that they are very happy with life here. However, they do find the following areas quite challenging: learning to speak Hebrew, finding a job, and finding permanent housing. Don't worry, guys, for many of us olim who have been here for a while, we're still trying to get our handle around learning to speak Hebrew. So that brings us to the end of our top stories for today. Don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our Facebook page is at Lottel Site. Like us, follow us, share our content. Our YouTube channel is at The Israel Brief, and if you like us, please share us and please considering subscribing so that we get the news from Israel out to as many people as possible. And we're on Twitter at Lay of the Land 5. From a hot and humid Israel to all of you around the world, I'm Rolene Marks. This is The Israel Brief. Thank you for watching and join us again tomorrow for your top stories.